Hello and welcome back to another poetry review video. As you can probably tell, I've had a bit of a rearrange in the shed, so it's not quite as exciting of a background anymore. I need to kind of figure out my new setup. Basically, this is the first video since rearranging. Anyway, once again I'm going on a tangent. Today we are going to be looking at Margaret Atwood's Dearly collection. It's her first poetry collection in over 10 years, I think, in a decade. So yeah, without too much explaining, let's get into it. As you know, I always take a look at the cover and formatting first. We've got a cover of blue feathers, bird feathers I think, and the blurb reads this. Before she became one of the world's most important and loved novelists, Margaret Atwood was a poet. Dearly is her first collection in over a decade. It brings together many of her most recognisable and celebrated themes, but distilled from minutely perfect descriptions of the natural world to startlingly witty encounters with aliens, from pressing political issues to myth and legend. By turns moving playful and wise, the poems gathered in Dearly are about absences and endings, aging and retrospection, but also about gifts and renewals. And there's a plane. They explore bodies and minds in flux, as well as the everyday objects and rituals that embed us in the present. Werewolves, sirens and dreams make their appearance, as do various forms of animal life and fragments of our damaged environment. Dearly is a pure Atwood delight, and long-term readers and new fans alike will treasure its insight, empathy and humour. I really wish I'd read that over before writing the script for this video, because they basically echo everything that was just said. But anyway, I will carry on, I will soldier on. So that's the cover and the blurb. Let's just take a quick look at formatting. It's really cool that they've on the, oh no, it's saying it's overexposed. I don't know if you can see that or if it's going to be too white. In fact, I haven't changed my camera settings to how I normally have them. Yes, I don't know if you can see that. It's saying that you probably can't, but it's basically scans of her passport. Is one of the poems that I want to read, funnily enough, in her handwriting, and I'm just gonna, yeah, it's the same on the two back pages as well. So in terms of formatting on the inside of the collection, I really hope that you're going to be able to see this. There is no waste of paper, which is a good thing, because one of the themes is climate change, but we'll get to that in a minute. This is a typical neat collection. It uses a formal font. There's no sort of swirly illustrations to go with each poem. It's definitely all about the poetry, and I expect nothing more from such an iconic poet. To be honest, I don't really need to talk about whether she uses poetry techniques properly or if she knows what she's doing. We all know how good she is. So in this video I'm going to talk about how the poetry made me feel, the themes that she uses, even though the blurb outlined them already. And of course I'm going to read three poems, a few poems from the book. So I definitely forgot to look at the focus. I think so far I've been out of focus for the whole of this video, but I have sorted it now. So let's get into it. The first part of this, because it's in sections, the first part of this collection actually almost had me in tears, to be honest with you. I get the sense that for the first part of this collection especially, Margaret Atwood is really sort of looking over life and pondering over life and mortality, which is one of the themes in the book. Her writing is so subtle, but it really hits you in the gut. and it got me tearing up. I'm only 28, but I often wonder what I'd be like when I get older, looking back over life's memories and old poems and old photographs. I mean, just looking over some of my old YouTube videos, the change shocks me, and kind of, you remember that stage in life. And I'm only going back a year, let alone 80. This is also the first book that she's published since the passing of her partner, Graeme Gibson. And again, I think you can really feel the longing and in this book. As I say, one of the themes is mortality. So without speaking any more on the first section, because it had such an impact, the 3 poems I want to read are purely from the first section. So let me get started on the readings. As I normally do with my review videos, I'm going to read the opening poem, which is called Late Poems. These are the late poems. Most poems are late, of course. Too late. Like a letter sent by a sailor that arrives after he's drowned. Too late to be of help. Such letters and late poems are similar. They arrive as if through water. Whatever it was has happened. The battle, the sunny day, the moonlit slipping into lust, the farewell kiss. The poem washes ashore like flotsam. Or late as in late for supper. All the words cold or eaten. Scoundrel, plight and vanquished. Or linger, bide a while, forsaken, wept, forlorn. Love and joy, even thrice gnawed songs, rusted spells, worn choruses. It's late, it's very late, too late for dancing. Still, sing what you can, turn up the light, sing on, sing on. Okay, so the second poem that I'm going to read is called Passports, and again it's from section 1. We save them as we save those curls cold from our kids' first haircuts, or from lovers felled too early. Here are all of mine, safe in a file, their corners clipped, each page engraved with trips I barely remember. Why was I wandering from there to there to there, God only knows. And the procession of wraiths' photos, claiming to prove that I was me. The faces, greyish discs, the fish eyes trapped in the noon hour flash flare, with the sullen jacklet stare of a woman who's just been arrested. Sequenced, these pics are like a chart of moon phases fading to blackout, or like a mermaid doomed to appear on shore every 5 years, and each time altered to something a little more dead. Skin withering in the parching air, marooned hair thinning as it dries, cursed if she smiles or cries. And then finally, the last poem I want to read is called Souvenirs. Souvenirs. We go away, we bring things back, from that alien moonshore where you can't get the same pills as here, nor toothpaste, nor local beer. We'll give these foreign things away, the ones we bought at stalls, folkloric knitting, droll hardware, wooden trolls, shells, hunks of rock. They silt up our luggage. They're souvenirs for our friends, remembrances. But who is to remember what? It's a cute cat hat, but you've never been there. I can remember buying it, and you can remember that I once remembered. I remembered something for you. It was a sunny day, though airless. The children had small heads and pale hair. I appear in other people's dreams much oftener than I used to. Sometimes naked, they say, or cooking. I seem to cook a lot. Sometimes as an old dog carrying a rolled up letter in snaggled teeth, addressed to Soon. Sometimes as a skeleton in a green satin frock. I'm always there for a reason, so the dreamers tell me. I wouldn't know. This is what I've brought back for you, from the dream life, from the alien moonshore, from the place with no clocks. It has no colour, but it has powers, though I don't know what they are, nor how it unlocks. Here, it's yours now. Remember me. I think what really hit me was reading that opening chapter, opening sequence of poems, is that I watched a documentary the night before reading that poem, which I'll leave in the description. It could have had an impact on the way I interpreted and read the poems, because in the documentary she's quite young, and obviously these poems are Atwood at aged 80. So I just kind of imagine her sitting at her table and just kind of longing and looking back on life, and of course her partner had died. And it kind of really just hit me. As well as mortality, other themes in the book are climate change and nature, which are two themes and two issues that I hold very dear to my heart. And it makes me really happy to see such an iconic poet speaking out so loudly about it. Painting fantastical pictures with her words, which of course she's very good at. She's constantly reminding us about the impending doom that humanity faces. Now, some people have labelled this collection stale, but other than having a soft spot for Margaret Atwood, to be honest with you, it's a breath of fresh air to read a collection so well put together from an accomplished poet who clearly knows her craft. And to be honest, anything that can get me welling up within the first few pages is pretty profoundly brilliant, if you ask me. My name's Adam Gary. If you're an experienced reader, you definitely pick up Margaret Atwood's collection. If not, if you're just starting out, I would recommend keep reading more modern collections, but of course get this for your shelves so that when you're kind of more experienced, to say the word again, with reading poetry, you definitely got to pick this up. I forgot to mention that I was lucky enough to pick up a signed copy. I don't know if you can see that. That's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, yada yada yada, all that good stuff. Grab some merch if you want to support the channel. Links in the description, and until next week, peace out.